in celebration of Jim Carolla's upcoming 92nd birthday. Here's a list of 92 things Jim Carolla has never done. Number 1. Thrown a dart. Just one of 92 things Jim Carolla has never done. Let's get back to the Adam Carolla Show.
Yeah, every time I think about my dad, I was like, 92 years old, never been to Hawaii.
Wow.
Never put cleats on. Never played a round of golf. Never ridden a mechanical bull. Never pulled a train.
What are you trying to say? That you don't want to copy those mistakes? You want to do everything?
Bucket list part 2.
I would like to have more experiences than my dad.
Before you go.
Who's never, you can break it down this way. He's never owned a sporting good.
Wow.
Forget about crossbows.
Singular good.
He never had a Nerf football.
A mitt?
Never a mitt. And never a pair of dedicated shoes like cleats or golf shoes or cycling shoes. Any 14-year-old who's been in Soul Cycle has now eclipsed my dad's shoe record. Now,
even I had like a floor hockey helmet.
That's right.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. No helmet
Nothing.
of any kind, no apparatus,
Did he
no
have
mitt, no glove.
regrets, though?
No. Or unclear.
Yeah.
That's like you. It seems like you seem like one of those guys that have no regrets about anything.
I don't know. I'm not a regret. I'm not a regret dude.
Yeah.
I don't know why that is.
Yeah.
It just is what it is.
It is what it is. It's how you are. Anyway.
So you end up in a
back to the
hospital in
Jews.
Tel Aviv.
Oh, yes. I'm in Tel Aviv. I do a show in Jerusalem. Sold out, standing ovation, not important. But and then I come off stage and I'm all like, you know how you get off stage and you're all excited. And I go to Tel Aviv to meet up with my family and friends. It was my best friend's daughter's wedding. So this was a part of a New Year's Eve party. So I did the show and I said, yeah, I got to do my thing and then I'll come meet you guys at the party. And my whole family's there, and I have teenagers. So one of my teenagers is a young, beautiful daughter. She's 18. She's going to kill me for telling this. And someone at the party just said, so she's in Israel for the year, by the way. And she's at this thing where it's in the morning, they take lessons. In the afternoon, they help orphan kids. And it's a really nice program. It's like a gap year between high school and college. So she's, having her time now to grow and be an adult, and the legal drinking age is 18. So they're all like partying in Tel Aviv all the time. And but she's not a partier. That's why I'm telling you that the preface is too long. But she's not a drinker or a partier. But someone at this New Year's Eve party goes, hey, tequila shots on me. And she just went nuts, her and her boyfriend, and started shot after shot after shot. Cut to, she is not responsive. I mean, slapping her in the face, going, Audrey, wake up. And I'm freaking out. I have this lifeless daughter in my hand.
Yeah.
My wife's going nuts. And we're this is New Year's Eve in Tel Aviv. And then a nurse said, she doesn't look good. White lips, take her to the ER. And the Hatzalah, the ambulance, whatever, and we went to but then again, the whole point of this crazy story is that you're in an Israeli hospital and there's nothing but Arabs and Druze and Jews and this, but the kids in the college at Berkeley are all pissed off about this. So should we get Adam going again? Adam, come on, do another 3 minutes.
They want to divest. Look, they're the biggest
Bullshit.
bullshitters in the world.
So that's why I left the left. I can't deal with hypocrisy. I can't.
They're insane. They have no thoughts on China. They have no thoughts on North Korea.
Right. It's like the UN. The UN Human Rights Council is China, Iran, North Korea. It's like, really?
They have no thoughts about evil empires.
Right.
And all the thoughts in the world about a bastion of sanity and an ashtray of insanity.
I'm with you.
All right.
Why aren't we friends? Why don't we smoke cigars together?
Fuck off. I'll never do that with you.
And why haven't you watched my special yet?
I watched the entire season. I saw you knock it out of the ballpark as the head of Hulu.
That's nice.
On Curb Your Enthusiasm. So I should have watched a special.
It's okay, you will. It's 32 minutes. It's
I'm
one of those many
watch it.
things.
I
Shot
know.
at the cellar. I did five. You know who does that all the time? Jay Leno always goes, we did the show, and I'm like, it was just you. You were doing stand up.
Right.
We did when we did we were working on the cars. You mean you were alone in your garage working on your car? I was sitting there. We're working on the cars.
I was riding. We were riding the unicycle the other day. We were playing solitaire.
We were masturbating the other day. And it was such a good. Anyway, so we were. What was I saying?
We were
doing something.
Doing a show at the Cellar.
Yeah, doing a show at the Cellar. I was doing it, and I did 5 sets in one night with a camera crew of like 3 people, and then edited it all together, called it Sets in the City. You understand? Yeah. But I'm really proud of it because it's very relevant and timely, and as much as, it's such it's not a dichotomy, but it keeps going back and forth between fighting the woke. I do this whole thing about being called sir and ma'am and transgender stuff. And then also on the liberal side of me, the whole message of the special is one of tolerance and love, and let's make fun of everyone, but with love and have tolerance for everyone, because tolerance, don't hate, tolerate. Like, I'm not asking you to love anyone. People don't love their own family. Your mother died. You didn't have a funeral for her. People don't love their own family.
But I had deep, deep affection.
Right.
For
Okay. Fine. But people don't love or speak to members of their own family. I'm not expecting you to love the Jews. I'm not expecting you to love any group. But have tolerance and. So there's this really nice message to the special. That's why I'm proud of it. It's a combination of great bits and a message that's, anti-hate. And we could use that in this.
I don't know why I'm going to dip back for a second, but New Year's Eve in Tel Aviv is a Robert Goulet song. It's like swinging. He's got the band New Year's Eve in Tel Aviv. We drank too much tequila, but we had there's something there. There's a New Year's Eve in Tel Aviv.
There is something.
And maybe you get a little Yiddish in there somewhere.
Like we do. Yiddish in Israel, you idiot.
Oh,
it's Hebrew.
Hebrew. We do, and I still defend the people, even though they refuse to speak Yiddish. I'm saying that could be your Hanukkah.
That's it.
That could be your Hanukkah song.
There it is.
Move over, Sandler.
I'm gonna have Steven and Adam, even though he died also, do the music to it.
All right, Chris, you have some trending topics.
Oh, this is
stuff
good.
in the news.
Wait, can I set it up with this?
Yeah.
What else is in the news, Robin?
Howard. No, well, we were talking. You're talking about the Middle East and just how crazy it is over there. It's also very crazy in Mexico right now. So the son of El Chapo, his name's Ovidio Guzman, nicknamed the Mouse. He was just arrested, and it was an ordeal. It is an ordeal. So he's a high-ranking member of the Sinaloa cartel, and they go to where he's hiding out. It was just like a huge military team. They extract him, they get him in a car, and they're trying to get him onto a plane. And there are videos of the cartel just jumping into their cars, racing, chasing after the military. If you watch on the right side of this screen right here, you can see that the cars just. This is the cartel just speeding to try to catch up to the military to stop the Mexican military from his capture.
Wow!
They're setting up blockades on all of the streets. It's a war now. Guns are being fired. They're trying to get him onto a plane. They're shooting at the plane that they're trying to get him onto. Here's a drone shot of just the warfare that's going on. Even the cartel are taking selfie videos of their blockades. Like, they're getting on the internet and on Twitter. Like, yeah, we're gonna stop this military from capturing our boy. Yeah, it's chaos. And the plane that they're trying to get him on, they're shooting at it already, and they hit another plane from Aeromexico, which is like Delta or something. So, so everybody which was full of people, by the way. So there's a video of all these people just crouched, just as the fuselage of this plane got hit and is now grounded. It's nuts.
Yeah, they're a narco state, and here's my take on border security and walls and things of that nature. We have 2 borders. One's with Canada and the other's with Mexico. I only need one wall. And I don't want to get too political, so I'm not going to say which country. Right. But what I'm saying is
not political. That sounds racist. Like, you're against Mexicans and Mexican people when you're just against
if
the
Canada
government and
was doing what Mexico is doing.
You'd be against it, but they're white.
Howie Mandel, you're not welcome here. I mean, if they're they're essentially a narco state, which is completely lost control. The government, if you're in the government, you take the silver, you take the lead. You either get money or you get shot. And most people take the money because, they have families and whatnot. That particular country, whatever the stretch is, whatever that border is, secure the fuck out of it. And then let in whoever you'd like to let in.
Right.
I'm just saying, secure it. Like, what I'm not saying, here's what I'm saying.
Secure it.
I'm saying Guns N' Roses is playing at the Forum. I'm not saying nobody gets to see Guns N' Roses. I'm saying have a dude in a windbreaker stand by the door. And if you have a ticket and an ID and we're able to check your purse and make sure there's not a pistol in it, then
analogy.
you fucking get to go inside and watch Guns N' Roses.
Yeah.
But if you're swinging a machete and you got a bunch of bootleg Sudafed, then you're going to have to stay outside. That's all.
Such a great analogy. It's a ticket to a rock concert, and you need the ticket.
You need the ticket.
You can't all just go in. You
can't just walk in.
So,
but I love Guns N' Roses. That's not going to do it.
I get it. It's not going to do it.
Yeah.
You love an Axl's not going to be enough for me to let you in.
Crazy.
Yeah. So this guy.
And also, as I've said many times, I know everyone gets their panties in a bunch about a wall or fence or whatever we're calling. If somebody said to me, Canada's building a wall so we don't wander into their country, I'd go, well, I guess that's their business.
Right.
Knock yourself out, Canada. I'll go through the crossing zones.
Yeah.
That's it. It's not
But
gonna
if the
affect
U.S.
me.
does it.
Oh, it's a hate crime.
It is. So might as well just build that upper wall too, just to make it even. But the
By the way, are you an out Republican? Is that,
I am now. I didn't used to care one way or the other.
and how does that affect your relationship with Kimmel? I mean,
He loves me.
obviously, but the political relationship, that divide that you guys have, I mean, that's right and left.
I have that with a lot of people. Most people.
Right.
No one agrees with most of what I say.
Wow. But
I mean, during COVID, it was fucking a bloodbath.
Right.
So I'd say everything I
Do you
want to say.
feel vindicated now?
Totally.
That's amazing.
And I want all these people to suck my chode.
But you had to wait 2 years to be right. Imagine like in an argument with
not
your
my
wife
mind,
where
not
you
my
have to
mind.
wait 2 years to be, honey,
Who left the
remember-
garage door open? I'll tell you in 2026.
yeah, can't wait.
That's the worst.
Yeah,
But
look,
you don't have a rift between you and Jimmy?
No, we love each other.
But how do politics not get mixed into the relationship?
I don't know. And it never was a part of our relationship.
Which is so weird because you would think that his politics are aligned exactly with yours, just based on his comedy and like what he talks about. But then when you see him go on the sort of rants about whatever it is, anti-Trump, anti-this, and I'm the furthest from a Trump guy, but he's so anti-right-wing, and I'm like, part of me thinks, this is a guy from the Man Show, and this is Carolla's bestie.
If you want to know, like
how
sort of
is he so-
Democrat, Republican, where I am, I live in California. I've seen what a Democrat supermajority can do to a state. If you said to me, would you rather have Ron DeSantis run California, I would say, fuck yeah.
Second.
And then people would go, oh, so that makes you a Republican.
Right.
And I'd go, I'd just rather have the smart guy do it than the
Yeah.
fucking bought and paid for idiot do it.
Yeah.
That's all. If that makes me a Republican, then so be it. But if Ron DeSantis was a Democrat, I'd rather him run the state
How
as a
about
Democrat.
the guy who got the pandemic right? Let's have that
let's
guy.
have the guy who got the pandemic right come over here and help this state out.
Yep.
That's the way I look at it. But everyone's
But it
got to be.
doesn't get in the way of your relationship.
No,
That's
we're
fascinating.
best of
Beautiful.
friends.
I love that.
Yeah, well, it
Fascinating.
could be that way.
I've lost
for everyone.
I've lost crazy lefty friends being a moderate.
Yeah,
Forget Republican.
There's no
just like you're
there's
too
no
center
there's
for
no
us.
wiggle room with
No
that.
wiggle room. You're
It's
too
like
in the middle.
if you believe in Israel, if you don't believe in lockdowns, if you want school choice,
Nuts.
If you like border security, then you're an insane MAGA Republican, and you are not coming to the
you
party.
know who you would love? Barry Weiss. who's
Yeah,
a
I love
friend of
Barry
mine.
Weiss.
Yeah, because that's, again, common sense politics. She's a liberal, she's a lesbian, she's this, she's that. But common sense politics.
Yes.
How is the entire country not in the common sense political game? I don't get
How
it.
do we get everyone on every college campus to hate Israel?
Yeah.
That's it worked.
And by the way, that's not the only issue with college campuses. It's also like, everything from free speech, which is supposed to be, again, a liberal value, but then they censor anyone that doesn't agree with them.
No, I know.
I mean, there's so many issues with how college campuses they're poisoning, not college campuses, the colleges, the universities, the faculty. they're literally poisoning these young minds and giving them their agenda. And, now they're going out into the world, hating things like Israel, which nobody should hate, and just having this sort of warped view of everything that is not reality, that is anti-common sense. And yeah, I stopped performing at colleges. I don't even want to deal with. Imagine doing my little vinegar bit in a college.
No.
Yeah, forget about it.
Are you worried about where your daughter is going to go to college after the gap year?
No.
Be involved?
Yeah, I'm going to be involved, and she already has a choice in New York. But there's no way that my kids would ever go to a liberal arts college. Like my son is in Indiana University now, and they're just very cool and down the middle. No, they could never go to a Berkeley or a Brown University or any of those. They're also not smart enough.
My son's not going to college. I'm not worried about it. His gap year is going to be working at the Gap for 7 years. How's your son's gap year? He's going on Gap. He's going on year 13.
He's switching to Old Navy.
He's at the Gap in Encino, but they're talking about junior management for the one in West Covina.
That's amazing.
I'm going to make him work at a Gap, so I don't have to be humiliated. Isn't he 31? Yeah, but he's taking his time. He's keeping his options open, folding those jeans. I mean, kicking some tires.
I was at Trader Joe's this morning, and not to brag, but that's what I do in the morning. I dropped my kids off at school, then I went to Trader Joe's. And the cashier guy, he was so cheerful. You're talking 8:30 in the morning.
Well, when you're wearing a Hawaiian shirt,
you have
you're
to be
immediately in a better mood.
And it was so inspiring to me to go, this guy's gonna stand a lot of the day. Stand, which is, look at us. I mean, we're sitting,
slouch, tired from sitting. I got to lay down, finish the show.
Exactly. I always say I'm so lazy. I have two examples of laziness. I won't open up a pistachio if it just has that line. It's got to be like half. And also for me, the most difficult part about doing stand up is the standing. I can't. Do you know why there's a stool on the stage of every? Because just in case we need to. All that pacing, that arduous back and forth, and all the standing for the 58 minutes that we're up there, we need the stool. So yeah, I'm like inherently lazy. But anyway, what was I saying? I popped an edible. Sometimes
you were at the Trader Joe's.
Yeah, about the Trader Joe's, and I'm thinking,
he had
this
every
guy,
reason to be in a bad mood.
Every reason,
but
he has
wasn't.
to stand for the next 7-8 hours.
Yeah,
and he was so cheerful, and it was so inspiring. And then I left there going, I have all the freedom in the world. You know what it's like to be a comedian, to be anything, a podcaster. You have so much freedom during your days, at least, and on many nights. And what to do with your time is just your choice. And all I am is like kvetchy and miserable and like, I got to do this and I got to, I'm like Jackie, but there's a I got to go to the bank to make a deposit. Anyway, but the point is like, I have so
lost the Laugh Factory crowd.
Yeah.
Like the 23-year-old Latina chick in the front of Joe Scaris. No, fuck it. Get back to Buddy Hackett.
But it was inspiring to see this guy is happy and he's got to stand by a cashier.
Aren't some people just like breeds of dogs?
I don't think so. Obviously, there's some people that are that don't have the brain. These guys that work at Trader Joe's,
I don't mean small brain. I'm not talking about small brain. I just mean to breed a dog. I got a lab. The fucking dog's happy all the time.
When you look at like a factory worker and they're just doing that same thing over and over again, you're like, what are their thoughts like? Is there nothing going on in there? Because no one with any sort of brain can do that every day, all day.
I can tell you that when I got out of high school, I didn't take a gap year. I went straight to a construction site and I started doing heavy manual labor. Just ditch digging we worked 9 or 10 hours a day and would never put the shovel down. And I was going out of my gourd.
Really?
I was going insane.
Because you weren't mentally stimulated.
I was like, there was no earbuds. There was no books on cassette. Right. Somebody had ranchero music playing in a radio in the next room, and I was going out of my mind. And the guys I was working with were just digging.
Wow.
You know what I mean? And at the time, I thought there was something wrong with me because why am I going insane and everyone else just keeps showing up and doing what they're doing? didn't seem bothered by it, and I was like kind of crawling out of my skin, and I was trying to entertain myself. Like, I'll count the number of scoops I do every 10 seconds, and I'll count how far I can push this wheelbarrow, how many steps between here and the dumpster and stuff. I was like making up games like I was in prison. And then later on, when I got into comedy, I was like, oh, that's why I went insane. But these people aren't getting into comedy. They're able to do it.
You had something to say. You wanted to, get things off your chest. I mean, this whole show is you just getting things off your chest.
Yes.
They don't have it. It's like, again, we're not trying to say there's, first of all, there are dumb people and there are smart people. There's always that. That's why I never understood like people like Bernie Sanders. Everybody has to be. I was just doing Jackie Bates. It's the same thing. It's the same voice. To be like the billionaires have ruined everything. He's so against billionaires because he's the only Jew that never made money. But no, he's just so against billionaires. It's just crazy to me. But he always preaches equality. It's always equality. But there will never be equality, not in wealth, not in health. We saw COVID. Some people died. Some people were sick. Some people. You won't see equality in looks. Some people are gorgeous. Some people are hideous, and you won't see equality in brains. Some people are just dumb. And very, very dumb people who, like, let's say, whether it's by choice, not educated or not, very, very dumb people tend to do jobs that a dumb person can do all day without going crazy like you did. Because you're an intellectual, you can't do a dumb person's job.
Right. But my life was completely physical my entire life.
Right.
Football and like wrestling and construction and all that BMX bikes and stuff. Everything was physical for me. So when I had the never-ending, relentless, repetitive, dumb job, I was going insane. But I thought, why are you going insane? You're a physical guy. You should be here and not coming up with funny jingles. But I didn't know it. So I took a guy with an intellectual brain who was a horrible student and pushed him onto a construction site, and I started to go insane.
Right. But back to the point about equality, which there never will be. I mean, it's a beautiful notion to strive for. Oh, let's all be equal. But we can't be equal.
No.
We can't physically, mentally, emotionally. We cannot be equal. So to even strive for that is just endless and purposeless, and you're just striving for nothing.
They don't even okay. But they don't even mean it.
But I
that's
sometimes
the whole thing.
like
they don't think what they're saying is possible. They're just talking. When you hear Michelle Obama talking about being the light and finding your light and discovering the light and opening toward the light and
some
the moth hitting the light.
Have the
she just says blah blah blah, light, inner truth, seat at the table, as a woman of color, blah blah. They don't even know what the fuck they're saying.
Right.
That they don't believe any of it. They're fucking selling books. I'm sorry to go cynical. I used to think they believed it.
Right.
I don't think they believe
That's
it
how
anymore.
bad it's gotten. You don't even believe
Michelle
that they
Obama's
believe.
just blah blah blah, just platitude.
But what is it like? You think? Let's say a truck driver. Okay, so he's on the road 8, 10 hours, 12 hours, whatever, and he's just staring at the road. Now, maybe now they're listening to podcasts and whatever, but what does your brain, how do you stimulate your brain? How do you not fall asleep? Think about.
Well, I mean, okay, let's just
that's a different brain is what I'm saying.
Let's use the guy at the Trader Joe's and then Larry David. Larry David is
always
cycling. His brain is going at 10,000 RPM.
Right.
And so there's not enough scraps of paper for him to write stuff down.
Right.
These guys' brains are detuned.
Right.
So look at it as almost an RPM thing. They're not spinning that fast. They're spinning enough to breathe, blink, eat, fuck, smoke, nod their head.
It's Elon Gold versus Elon Musk. I'm a big dum-dum. I'm serious. I'm not a smart guy. But Elon Musk, his brain is going. So
I
he
would
stutters.
argue you're spinning at a higher RPM than you're giving yourself credit for.
Okay, fine. But I'm illiterate and I don't read books and I'm stupid.
Well, I'm with you there. But if you take a high RPM brain and you hand him a shovel and tell him, I did a job once at the Pier 1 in Santa Monica off Wilshire Boulevard or on Wilshire Boulevard, which is still there. and they dropped me off alone. Now, what if you dropped me off, or if I was working with somebody, I would just talk the person's ear off.
Right.
They didn't want to hear it.
Right.
They didn't speak English. They didn't care. But I'd just be talking the whole time.
It's a compulsion.
I got dropped off at the Pier 1 in Santa Monica on Wilshire, and I just got dropped there at like 7 a.m. by Mike Stromat, and there was a giant pile of dirt the size of a Winnebago on that side of the parking lot. Is about 150 feet away, and then there's a empty dumpster on this side, and they just hand me a shovel and a wheelbarrow, and they go, "Don't leave until that is in there."
Whoa.
You know, and I got dropped off, and I had no earbuds or Walkman or nothing, no phone, you know, no nothing. And I would just start walking, and I would start counting, you know, how many scoops went into the wheelbarrow. I could time myself,
Make some
like
mental
going
games.
Yeah, to make some mental games, like I was Steve McQueen in the cooler, and I was going nuts, but I didn't know I was going nuts. I thought there was something wrong with me because other people could do this.
But you have that in you. You also have that the intellectual side and the physical side. Like, don't you build shit and put together things?
Yes.
Like you're like construction. Like you literally can build a house or something.
Yeah, for sure.
Like I think you built your own. The first time I met you, it was your house in the Hollywood Hills, and you and Kimmel and a couple other guys were playing poker. I went with my manager Willie Mercer, and you were talking about how and I built this house, and I went, what? How do you even find the materials to build it? This was before Home Depot. Where do you even get, let alone put it together? This was before IKEA. IKEA, by the way, should do houses, I think. When you put together
I'd
your
buy
own
one of
house.
those.
Why do they stop at furniture?
They're so close.
It'd also be funny, too, where it's like
Yeah.
the guy come back 2 years later, like, you haven't built a house. I lost the Allen key, and I'm fucked.
There's one instrument missing.
I know how to build everything.
You know how to build. So when you're building, say you're like in the garage or you're building, how do you occupy your brain with fun things while you're doing that?
Well, building is much different than digging.
Because you have to think about
Building
what
is thinking
goes
about
with what. Digging is the same action over and over. There's no thought.
Building is the process of what you're doing now
It's like engineering, design.
will affect the next part of this equation. So building is a lot of this. You're putting cabinets in your kitchen. Your cabinets have a 4-inch toe kick on the bottom of it. And now you're designing your cabinets and you want a 4-inch toe kick. That's a space your toes go in when you're standing at the counter.
Yeah, it collects all the crumbs.
Right. So you go, all right, we'll build the cabinet and cut in a 4-inch toe kick. Building is kind of the process of going, what kind of flooring are you using? Because if you're using linoleum or vinyl or something, you'll set it right on there. You'll have that. But if you're going to put cement board and tile up to the toe kick, then you're going to shave an inch off it, and your 4-inch toe kick is going to be a 3-inch toe kick. So before you build the cabinets, figure out what you're doing for flooring in there, and everything.
A lot of thought goes into
it. Before you do it, because you will be fucked if you don't do this part of it. You have to think of that part of it now. Otherwise, you'll be screwed. Like when you're ordering door jambs, like 1/2-inch drywall on the inside. Is it 5/8 drywall on the inside? Because it's got to be even with the drywall. What's the outside of the exterior door jamb? Is it stucco? Are we doing siding? How thick is the stucco? We need the jamb to end perfectly with the stucco and end perfectly flush with the drywall on the inside. Like it's a never-ending process of how does this affect that. So your brain will constantly be in motion trying to figure out how this is going to affect that.
Yeah, and isn't the satisfaction greater? I mean, you get a new kitchen versus, there's the pile of dirt in the container.
Oh, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, yes, there's no
A
accolades
monkey could do
for that. Yeah.